Hello, Paul here in Nashville, Tennessee with Felicia. It's October 28th, 2023, and we are harvesting lots of greens. We have kale, red radishes, and parsley.
Yeah.
And some of the workers, we got some figs here today. Get a close look at these figs. Some of them are kind of hard. Now the people in Greece are laughing, but they do taste pretty good. And all the Greek figs are past. They've been gone for probably a month now. So, and we're in a real dry spell right now. If you look at the soil behind you, see how dry everything is. It's just really amazingly dry. But we've been running sprinklers. We're blessed to have a really nice well, and so those are turnip greens, and we have 4 sprinkler zones, and we have tons of greens. And so the greens are about that tall, maybe like 5 inches tall, and so they're really good. But they're not real good for distributions because they don't, they wilt very quickly, but they're very, very delicious and very, very nutritious. So if you're in the Nashville area, message me and we'll have you come over and get some, and you can take them home and eat them. And you'll be blessed, I'm sure, because they're in extremely good soil that's being watered, and it's really living soil, really good microbiome in the soil. So the greens are just amazing right now. And we got some carrots coming up. We've got mazuma coming up. We've got all sorts of greens. Spinach is
radishes,
looking really good.
Lettuces.
Yeah. Lots of lettuces, lots of radishes. So if you're in the Nashville area and you want to come join us, we'll be here Saturday mornings at 9. And if you need to come another time, just let me know and I'll try to set up a time with you. But anything else, we have goji berries coming in. We have figs. The pawpaws are done. And so we're getting ready for the winter. We're going to have a lot of Jerusalem artichokes, which are really good.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
What else have we got? We've got collards, kales, bok choy coming in.
Pea shoots.
Pea shoots.
And the wheat grass is coming up.
I saw that. It's looking good this morning.
Yep.
Yeah. Peppers are. I mean, we're getting first frost this week.
Yeah.
Or like first hard, like a hard frost.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, or anything summer crop-wise, is just going to kind of just die.
Yep.
And then we'll have more room to put more things.
Yep.
So it's exciting.
And we have horseradish coming up over there.
Yeah, I want to get some of that today.
The leaves are really good, and the roots, of course. And so yeah, I think we'll wind it up there. Is there anything else we left out?
The microbes.
Microbes, yes, the microbes are very important. What do you want to talk about the
microbes?
microbes? So it's very
well, the difference between this and and Whole Foods, for example.
So what we're learning in science is just sort of newly discovering this, but it makes total sense. Is in the soil there are microbes, and the microbes interact with the roots of the plant. So the plant puts out root exudates, which are sugars, basically cakes and cookies, and the organisms in the soil will barter the various elements that they need. Like if the plant needs copper, it'll say to the microbes in sort of an enzymatic language, hey, we need copper, and the organisms will give them copper in exchange for sugar. So this tree behind me is huge. It's running probably 1,000 gallons of fluid every day up and down the tree, and about 1/3 of the energy of that tree is being put out in the form of root exudates. And so in January, it's a maple tree. In January, we can tap it for sugar, and lots of sugar coming out of that tree. And yeah, it's really good. And but those roots are putting out that sugar and getting elements in exchange. And those same organisms that are in the soil are in your gut. They're very similar. And so when you need nutrient, you put nutrients, protein, fat, and sugars down in your gut. And those organisms will do this thing where they exchange elements and nutrition for the various food items, and it makes sense when you read the Bible. It says God created man from the dust of the earth, so it makes sense that the organisms in the soil are the same organisms that are in your gut. But what I didn't tell you was that most of the food that you're getting in the store, just about all of it, is sterilized. And so food is sterilized in various ways. So when it comes in a supply chain, like at a big grocery store with fish and with meat and with dairy and with eggs, they have to sterilize the produce so people don't get E. coli and salmonella and all this stuff. And so you don't get your microbiome. You don't
I
get
think it's more for the legal.
the legal
issues,
aspects.
yeah.
Yep. And now with COVID, that's put it into high gear. Everyone's very worried about germs, and so they're sterilizing everything. And then another way that food gets sterilized is you bring it home or you bring it in, and you run it under chlorinated water. Well, chlorine is an herbicide. It's there to kill the algae, so that's another form of sterilization. And then yet another one is antibiotics. When you take antibiotics, it has an effect on the microbiome in your gut. And then another way is cooking the food. Not that it's bad to cook food all the time necessarily, but when you cook the food, it just kills everything when you cook it too much. And so we're sterilizing everything. We're not getting the microbiome. And so, but when you eat food from this garden, we don't fertilize with bone meal or blood meal or manure. We're just using
NPK.
what is it?
NPK.
NPK. Yeah, we're just using leaves and wood chips. So and it composts for many years, and that's it right there, and that pile that you saw a minute ago. And so you don't have to wash it necessarily. You can just eat it and get all the microbiome on it. So that's very important. There's 5 trillion non-human cells in your body that are essential for human life, and they live in your intestines, in your stomach, in your intestines, and so forth. So I always thought that it was the hydrochloric acid in your stomach that broke everything down. And so really what it is, it hits your saliva and it gets a lot of enzymes, and then it does get into some hydrochloric acid in your stomach. But the heavy lifting's done in the other intestines, the small and large intestine, by organisms that live there that are non-human organisms called microbiome. And then there's prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. And so the prebiotics, so you want to eat food with a lot of roughage, like what's here, because that plant matter they're like homes for the organisms. They're like condominiums, like high-rise condominiums in Hong Kong. And all the organisms live. They have to set up and make house, so to speak, on those fibers and so forth. So that's the prebiotics, and then the probiotics are the actual organisms, and the postbiotics are the nutrition that you get from this barter exchange with the microbiome and then the food items that you put in your gut. So I hope that's a rough definition, but we need the organisms, we need the prebiotics, and the greens are really just such a good source of that. So come and get your greens.
It's essentially like a multi-level symbiotic relationship between all of the pre, pro, and postbiotics and what you're putting into your body.
Yep.
Yeah, and all that. It's just think symbiosis, but on a big scale.
And when it makes sense, when God created man, He put him in a garden because that's where he'd have all his needs met, and you experience the abundance and the provision in a garden in just amazing ways. So this food is really coming out of thin air. You put the seeds in the soil and you water it, but it's really it takes nitrogen and carbon out of the air to put on the weight that the plant is. Like this tree weighs thousands of pounds, and all that weight came out of the air from the carbon and the nitrogen out of the air. So there's just so many things going on here, and it's fascinating and it's fun. So, and it's a great community that we have here, and we're really grateful to all the volunteers that have come even today to help and make this what it is. And we have a great distribution here for some people at the branch ministry just a few miles away in Antioch. So thanks for watching, and be in touch online. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.